Hi, this is Dr. Greg Oliver, and I want to welcome you to the first episode of Fat Doctor TV. We're excited to share lots of things with you. Now, the first thing you may say is, what the heck is Fat Doctor TV? Let me tell you. Two reasons that Fat Doctor TV is now on the air, on the internet, live, streaming to you, and that is that number one, I was a fat doctor. I'm a family physician, have been for 27 years, and I was a fat doctor. And quite a few years ago, I decided that that wasn't good. Actually, one day I was in one of my exam rooms, and a young lady came in. She was in her 80s, and she looked at me. I shook her hand. I was there to help her for the day with her medical problem, and she said, "Doc, you're fat." And she was right. That kind of stung a little bit. Has anyone ever said that to you? I hope not. But she said it to me, and all day long, it just really kind of bothered me. And so I decided the next day that I was going to start to lose some weight. Because I told all my patients they needed to lose weight. I told people every day, lose weight, exercise more. Oh, and by the way, here's a diet sheet. That'll help. Well, I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you went to your doctor and they handed you the diet sheet and said, eat less, exercise more, and you'll lose weight. It's just not that easy. So, fat doctor's about number one. I was a fat doctor. I lost 43 pounds, and that's been several years ago. And I fluctuated up and down. Have you ever done that? So, now I'm in the last 25 pounds of getting to my lean goal weight. At that point, I'll be just like I was in high school, a lean machine. That's my goal. But we're not here for me. You'll be able to watch me go through that as I lose my last 25 pounds here on Fat Doctor TV. But hopefully very soon I'll be at my lean body weight. So the reason we're here is to help you out with lots of different reasons. We want to give you tips on a regular basis of how to lose weight. We want to analyze things like the available diets that are on the program, or different programs that are out there, different diets that are out there. So we'll compare them, we'll look at what works, we'll look at what doesn't work, we'll look at medications, we'll look at herbal therapies, we'll look at protein bars and snack bars and all the good things that you can eat and all the bad things that you don't want to eat. So we'll kind of compare those things out there. But here's what's going on. Most people think, well, I gain weight because it's my fault, because I eat too much. Well, that's really true. However, it's not your fault. What we know about our bodies is this. We were created in such a way that our body likes to make fat. It also likes to store fat. Thousands of years ago, long before we were here, our ancestors used to run around on the plains and catch their food. Now just think, if you had to catch your food every day, go out hunting for your food, spend hours and hours running and walking and hiding, do you think you'd gain a lot of weight? No. And then it might be 2 or 3 days before you actually found some food or killed your food or picked your food off of high trees and ate it. And so your body had to have a mechanism to store fat. So we ate a lot of food after we caught it or killed it, and then we gained a lot of fat. Well, that was there for our food storage, for our fuel. And so we burned it up in the next few days trying to find food again. Well, here today there's food on every street corner. There's a grocery store, a fast food store, your local 7-Eleven or whatever gas station you go to. There's food everywhere, and it's cheap. And we don't have to run around to get it. We're driving our cars, We have delivery. We can have it delivered right to our house. If the door's open, they can walk in and set it right in front of the couch. So the bottom line is we don't have to burn up that fat anymore to go catch our food. And so now food also is very concentrated. Back then you would eat things like shoots and berries and bark and other animals, things like that. Nowadays, you can put in your fist 1,000 to 1,200 calories, and it's usually got 2 layers of meat in it and some special sauce and all that stuff. But you can put that in between your hands and you can eat 1,000 calories with one sandwich. So nowadays food is so concentrated. So here's the deal. We want to try and compete and fight against those old chemical and genetic factors that make us gain weight, especially in this environment that we live in now. So we're going to do some things and teach you how our brains can work differently, teach us how we can combat those genetics that are there. We can't change them, but we can certainly combat them. And so those are some of the things we want to do. So this is what we're going to do on Fat Doctor TV. You're going to get advice from a physician. That would be me, your original fat doctor here. We're going to share stories about people who've gained weight, lost weight, kept the weight off, done it different ways. We're going to give you tips and ideas on how you can stay motivated. We're going to give you some motivation. Okay, but it's going to be to you to take that motivation in, up to you to do that and kind of on a daily basis work with that. We're going to talk about different products, diets, programs. We're going to talk about different things. But one thing we're going to do here is we're going to be real. We're not going to sugarcoat this or anything like this. Here's the key thing. We're all responsible for our lives. When I was 43 pounds heavier, who was responsible for that? Me. Didn't mean I was always at fault. Yes, I did have bad behaviors and I ate the wrong things, but sometimes the chemicals in my brain drove me to do that. Maybe my family genetics also drove me to do that, but ultimately I had to take charge and be responsible for that. So we're going to teach you how to become responsible for your own life too. Very positive messages, hopefully, so you'll feel good about yourself. So here's the deal. You're not alone. All right? If nobody else is out there on your side, Fat Doctor's on your side. Okay? You can always remember that. Now, I've got two other people who are on your side also. And these are my coaches. Because in my medical office, we actually do treat obesity and we have a weight management program. And so I'm going to use them also because they got great tips. They work with people all the time. So I want to introduce to you my first health coach, Raquel. Come on down. Yeah, this is exciting to have Raquel here. So Raquel is a coach and she helps people to lose weight. I'm going to ask her a few questions. We're glad to have her on the first episode of Fat Doctor TV. So Raquel, tell us about yourself. Have you ever been fat?
Not really.
No, Raquel's not been fat. So the first thing you say is, how can someone who's skinny or thin teach me who's been fat? How can they do that? Well, here's the interesting thing. Do you live a healthy lifestyle?
Absolutely.
Yes, she does. What do you do to do that?
Eat healthy, exercise, watch everything I eat, and be accountable.
There you go. She's accountable to herself. She eats healthy. She exercises. She does all things. So I felt it was very important to have someone as a coach who really understands health, who can really live that lifestyle and teach you some of those things too. And she's very empathetic too. I mean, do you yell at the people?
No,
oh, okay, no, she doesn't yell at anybody. And the neat thing is, you can just watch us online. Even if we yell at you, you can just turn us off. So it's not a big deal. But Raquel is going to be here on Fat Doctor TV from time to time, or all the time, or whenever we can get her. And she's going to help you also with some great advice and some frustrations you may have. And so she's going to help us all too. So Raquel, welcome to Fat Doctor TV. It's great to have you on.
I'm glad to be here.
All right.
I'm very excited.
We're going to let Raquel go, and we have a second coach who is equally as healthy. And that's Caitlin. Come on down, Caitlin. It's kind of like the Price is Right here, you know. So Caitlin is with us today, and Caitlin is another health coach who works with us in our weight management and obesity clinic here in the office, and she has lots of great experience too. So let me ask you a question too. I mean, were you ever overweight or fat?
I've struggled with weight up and down for a couple of times while I was out of high school.
Okay, so in high school you're probably very active, doing a
Yes.
lot of things.
Yes.
And then here's what happens. We get married.
Yes.
Right? And we get comfortable, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then we kind of start eating a little bit more, you know, that sort of stuff, right?
Yes.
And so the pounds come on. You've all experienced that. But what did you do to kind of drop the weight back down, and what do you do on a regular basis to make sure you don't gain the weight?
I'm definitely very aware now of what types of food I am putting in my body. Working out and then being a part of this, it's just helped me to stay accountable and to find new ideas to keep me motivated as well.
So I have two coaches, Raquel and Caitlin, who are going to also work with you and work with me, Fat Doctor, so we're going to be able to help you in any way we can to make your life better here. So let me ask you this. Do you ever get excuses from people who are trying to lose weight?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
There's always excuses.
Well, and that's normal. We all make those, every single person. So, you know, it could be anything like, well, you know, I was on vacation, so I had to eat more. Or, you know, well, we went out to dinner and they brought the appetizers by, and so I had to do that. We always make these little excuses, lies. I like to call them rational lies. We rationalize and we tell lies to ourselves. And we're going to kind of work through how we can get away from doing that and be fully accountable. So that's one of the jobs of a coach, isn't it? Just to help people be accountable?
Yes, to follow up and just make sure you're staying on the right track and keep you going.
So when people are accountable to you, how do they do that? Do they like send you letters, or how does that work?
We receive a lot of emails and phone calls, and then they follow up here in the office with us. Some of them will keep food logs, and we can kind of go over that with them as well and just make sure that they're on the right track.
Great. Now, obviously, you're not going to be coming into the office unless you live around the area. Then you're welcome to come in. But for a lot of you that are out there around the country, around the world, you're not going to come into the office, be part of our weight management program. But we're going to share a lot of the ideas that we have when we help treat patients with obesity and weight problems with you. And our coaches are going to also be there to take your comments. So we welcome comments. Send them to our website, which is fatdoctor.tv. Please send those comments. Tell us where we're right, where we're wrong, if we're crazy. We'll take any comment, okay? We really would just like to hear from you. If you have questions for me, Fat Doctor, or you have questions for Raquel or Caitlin, our coaches, we'd love to welcome them. So here's the key. You're not alone. At least we're here with you, and we're going to help you in any way we can. We're not here to sell diet programs. We're not here to sell anything to you. This is going to be informational, motivational, and hopefully a little inspirational. And we would like to have some entertainment too. So we hope over time that we'll make you laugh a little bit. We don't want to make you cry, but if you do, that's okay. We really would like to make you laugh, and we're looking forward to having future episodes. So tune in to www.fatdoctor.tv for our next episode. And welcome. Have a great day, and next time, I want to see less of you. Bye now.